Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the new entry series device in the POCO world, the M3. I already did my unboxing video, I did a gameplay review on it, but having used it for a couple of days now, I want to dive in a little bit deeper and talk about some of the performance on the phone and is it worth it? Is this phone worth your hard-earned money? Should you go out and pick one up? And I'm going to talk about that in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the M3. So the M3 on paper, a lot of things right. It sounds good when you talk about numbers. 48 megapixel camera, 6,000 milliamp battery, Snapdragon 662, 6.53 inch full HD plus screen. Lots of good things there and a very, very good price. When you look at the numbers, $149 for 64 gigs or $169 for 128. If you were able to get this on the early bird special, it was even 20 bucks cheaper for each one. However, is it any good? And if you go pick up one of these phones, is it going to be worth what you think that it's worth? Is it really going to meet the value that that price looks so attractive for to pick up this phone? And I think that question is a maybe. It is very good in some areas. As being a budget gaming phone, I think it's top notch. It has all the makings of a good phone that you can use for playing a lot of popular games. 6.53 inch display, full 1080p, 4 gigabytes of RAM, stereo sound that actually sounds pretty good and has some good volume, long lasting battery, 6,000 milliamps. All that stuff lines up really good for a really good budget gaming phone. And I think that's where this phone shines. They do throw some other extras in there to try and kind of make it a little bit on the snappier side. I mean, it does have the fingerprint sensor on the side. It's a little on the slow side, and that's kind of one of the performance issues that I'm not too crazy about. It's not the fastest in the world. I mean, you can see there it takes over a second for it to get from touch point to turning on. The camera, 48 megapixels. Is it any good? Not really. And that's really like the weakest part of this whole package. It says that it's 48 megapixels. That sounds and looks attractive on paper, but whenever you put it into reality, it just doesn't pan out the way you think it would. Normally, when you talk about those big number megapixels, it's kind of like a marketing selling point. I mean, if you look though, a lot of the main phones that are out nowadays have much smaller megapixel cameras, but it's the sensor behind all of it, so much more than the actual megapixels that makes the image look so much better. You look at the Pixel phones, you look at the Samsung phones, you look at the Apple phones. They're all like 12 megapixels and under for their primary shooters, and then you've got a 48. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 48 megapixels of greatness. It's not 4 times better than a 12. So I took some pictures with it. If you're in ideal lighting situations, it can be okay, but this is not something that you want to go out there and like you think you're just going to take amazing pictures with it. It takes pictures that are okay to not okay at worst. So if you don't have good lighting, it doesn't really like white light either. It washes it out and it makes it look kind of flat and the images look kind of soft. So also the color balance is not good either. There's just not a whole lot of great things I can say about the camera. And I hate saying that because everything else is so good, but at the end of the day, you have to look at this. How many great things can you really put into a $150 phone? That's a really tight budget. And for them to have a Snapdragon 662 in there, that's plenty of power to do whatever you need to do with this. It's fine for social media. It's fine for most mainstream games that you want to play. You're going to get a lot of performance out of this, and you're going to get all-day battery life and more, especially if you're not playing games or consuming media all day. 6,000 milliamps is just crazy. So 4 gigabytes of RAM, that's perfectly solid there, especially running Android 10 with the MIUI 12 on here. Headphone jack, solid speakers. This is a very well-rounded phone that gives you a lot of great performance and a lot of really good features in most areas. The only thing that I can't give it a check mark for is the cameras. I mean, 8 megapixel selfie camera, 48 on the back. Yes, it's got the 2 megapixel macro camera, but it just doesn't add up whenever the rubber meets the road. So if you're looking to pick one of these up, there are a lot of reasons that I could say, yes, this will probably work for you. Now, be cautious in the United States. There's something that you need to know about here. it doesn't have a lot of LTE bands. Like when you go look at one of our normal phones here that's optimized for the States, it's got like 30, 20, there's just so many different LTE bands. This one has a lot less. However, you can still use it unlocked with T-Mobile or GSM networks like AT&T, Cricket Mobile, Metro by T-Mobile, all that stuff. Mint Mobile, it works with that, but you're going to be limited in different coverage areas. There's no relatively new LTE bands. There's no 5G. There's no band 71. So this phone is not really designed for the US market. It's very hard to get one of these in the States right now, and it's just not geared towards our market. If you're looking at this, you're overseas, you're in one of the Asian, European markets that this phone is designed for, I think that this checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Very good phone for young people, very good phone for kids, very good phone for people who don't want to spend a lot of money, but just want a phone that works and that gives them all-day battery, gives them solid performance, that doesn't really lag up too much, is not real overly choppy, that gives you a good experience, but just not, great photo taking capabilities. The photo and the video just is the crutch of this whole thing, but everything else I'm fairly well happy with. I think that it's snappy enough. I mean, temper your expectations here. We're talking about essentially a $150 phone. I've not messed with a lot of $150 phones, but most of them don't have really great performance, and most of them don't have great performance when it comes to overall power or multitasking or being able to play games and not have 5-minute load times and things like that. So if you want something you can plug your headphones into, you can take it on the road, you can use it as long as you want, you can abuse the battery, and then you can recharge it with a 22-watt charging brick. I mean, there are some things here that shine, especially at the price point, but don't expect to be having like Pixel or iPhone level image quality when it comes to taking pictures, because it's just not there. But again, 150 bucks. I mean, I think it's hard to lose here if that's something that you're looking for all the other reasons. So that's what I've got talking about the POCO M3 here. Solid budget offering from POCO. Great entry-level pricing, lots of things that they did right with it, and I think that it does check a lot of boxes for a lot of people who are looking for something that works in this price point. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.